Right, another great interview, this time with Olivia Bion, who's the CEO of Ykone, and I'm so pleased to have you here. We've been to and froing on email and on LinkedIn as well, and I'm really excited about this campaign that you've done. We're going to have a bit of a deep dive into it, Olivia. So tell us a little bit about the Experience Abu Dhabi, which sounds absolutely amazing. First of all, how did you get the gig in the first place?
Thank you, Gordon. So, it's an amazing story. And for us, this Experience Abu Dhabi campaign is much more than a campaign. It's kind of a new company within the company. To go back to the past, from 2017 to 2019, we have been one of the agencies of record for Visit Dubai. So at that time, Ykone was one of the multiple agencies that was promoting the second city of the UAE, which is Dubai, and we've been bringing hundreds of influencers. But we saw that a few hundred kilometers away, there was another city, Abu Dhabi, that was much more, let's say, impressive when it comes to art and culture. We got the chance to meet with the team of Visit Abu Dhabi, and we have proposed to build an influencer program that would be very well integrated into the city. So the entry point was that the influencer agency cannot be a supplier, cannot be an external vendor. It has to be very well integrated throughout all the stakeholders of the city. So we built a company called Ykone Abu Dhabi. We have set up the HQ of our entity in the same building as the tourism office, and
That
we
is
built our
amazing.
company
That's
as an
amazing.
no, because Visit Abu Dhabi is the Ministry of Tourism and Culture in a way. So it's a government entity. Their goal is to promote the city, to attract travelers to come and visit Louvre Abu Dhabi, to go at the pristine beach of Saadiyat, to enjoy all the hotels, the desert. But when you represent a city or a public entity, you have to act as such. You cannot just be a vendor. So the goal from day one was to set up a very solid partnership. And that it was back in November 2019.
Yeah, no, I mean, fantastic. So did the brief come from you or from them, or was it a collaborative, because like all things start with an objective and goals of what they're trying to achieve, and then somebody has to decide on what a budget. So I was just keen to find out, how that developed.
The city of Abu Dhabi has a very impressive chairman for culture and tourism. And they have set a long-term vision up to 2030 with a very impressive pipeline of museum opening, theme parks opening, new resort, new properties. Abu Dhabi has been communicating to the world that they will open museum, that they will open Disneyland, that they will host Formula One, that they are becoming a partner of NBA. And we use that vision to define what kind of creators, influencers, celebrities would be relevant to get the word out.
Mm.
So it was very much focused on understanding their vision and translating that vision for the future into a strategy that was built for the long term. We have already delivered 5 years of work with Visit Abu Dhabi. We hope to continue for the next 5 years. But from day one, the brief was to align the governmental decision with a roadmap on social media.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think you've done such a fantastic job. I mean, looking at the numbers as well, because I think, I'm involved personally in tourism as well. So I understand some of the challenges often is, and in their case, it's managing 27 different markets. And then are you trying to find influencers and creators that are relevant in those markets as well? So I'm keen to know with their challenge, how you went about that.
Yeah, the word intermediary is really what it's all about. Because on one side, you have a city that has a lot of offering, theme parks, museum, beach, malls, etc. And of course, that offering is different from a season to another.
Hmm.
Winter and summer, peak season, low season. So that city is the context. in front of that, you have 27 markets. And those markets, or to make it simple, the markets that have a lot of direct flights. So if or Etihad opens a direct route Abu Dhabi to Paris, then you want the Parisian tourist to know about that. So we have to capture the offering and find to which market that offering is relevant. For example, in a couple of weeks, there is the new National History Museum. Which market would be relevant? Should we address that museum offering to Western Europe? Maybe, but in many European cities, you already have National History Museum. So would you see a German or UK family travel to Abu Dhabi for that? Meanwhile, in India or China or other GCC markets, that museum offering is maybe little. So it's about finding that relevance, and that strategic work comes much ahead of selecting the creators and the influencers. So the client never comes to me and say, oh, we need 20 influencers in India to promote museum. No, first, it's all about defining which target market are relevant for a specific activation.
Makes absolute sense. So you're very goal driven before deciding what strategy is going to implement it.
Yeah, the agency and the team that we have built to deliver the work is composed half of people living in Abu Dhabi who really well understand the product. So that's the core team in the city, and it's about 15 people more or less. And then you have the international teams. So one market expert per country that understand the local communities and influencers.
So you now, over the time, you've worked with over 3,000 influencers. Is that right?
Very likely more. We started with around 100 a year. And now, yes, it's likely that we are between 1.5 and 2,000 a year.
A year, right. So if you look at over those 5 years, it's quite considerable, isn't it? Yeah. And then so you've now tapped in the entire funnel, haven't you? All the way through from celebrity down to sort of micro influencers. And I'm quite keen to know how you found the right and relevant people for your influencer campaigns.
So, there is no dogma on should we bring nano or macro. I see a lot of people on social media telling that, oh, celebrity are not relevant. You have to use nano because of engagement, etc. We don't think like this. Sometimes, we have to promote Formula One Abu Dhabi. Would you take 5 nano to the paddock club to meet with a Formula One racer? No, you won't. You would not fly from abroad a crew of nano to shake hands with Lewis Hamilton. Opportunity is to go paddock club of Formula One and meet Lewis Hamilton. Of course, you bring celebrities. You bring people of equal caliber. And we look at bringing celebrities from Korea, from Japan, from Africa, from US, etc., because that is the game we're playing. As opposed to that, when there is an art fair in Abu Dhabi, and that Art Week would likely attract regional tourism from Doha, from Dubai, from Saudi Arabia. You want to touch those very expert art creators that are 1 hour away, can drive to Abu Dhabi, attend the exhibition, and capture that event. And in that case, we work with micro, nano, small regional influencers. So we use every category, depending on the project we have to propose. But beyond the size or the amount of followers, it's a lot about ensuring that the content that the influencer is interested in will match the offering we have.
Yeah. And that, again, that's all part of the briefing, isn't it? And making sure that you've got a really detailed brief and those individual creators really understand, well, it's a complete matching of minds, isn't it? More than anything else. So no, I love
We don't really use the word briefing per se, because we are not working for a brand that would want to promote a product. We are working for a city that wants to promote an experience. So it's more about hosting. And
Okay.
when you host a dinner, there is no briefing to the guests.
Of course,
Right?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
What you want to be able to achieve is to have a good chemistry with the people you host, the food you serve, the emotion you translate. So for us, we use the word hosting much more than we use the word briefing or marketing or deliverables, because the moment the right creators are visiting the city and they are hosted the right way, a contract is useless. But the itinerary is essential.
Love it. No, I know in the world of hospitality and stuff, they often talk about fan familiarization trips and fam trips, and we often use the word hosting. And I know that it just has a higher value, doesn't it? And what you do is you get that organic content that people share a lot more because they feel connected to the destination, which is great. I get it. Yeah.
Most of the employees we have in Abu Dhabi are not coming from the influencer marketing space or social media. The employees we have at Ykone Abu Dhabi have been hired from top 5 stars hotels, and most of the time they are former concierge or VIP guest manager,
Mm.
because their role is not to deliver a contract, a brief, and to check deliverables. Their role is to turn the city into a play field where creators, influencers can capture some content and bring it to their audience.
Amazing, amazing. But you've now also collaborated with multiple brands, haven't you? I noticed. It's not just about the destination. Other brands want to get part of that. And I'm interested to find out how you've done that.
You know, people sometimes have a very narrow definition of what an influencer is. An influencer is not just an online creator creating videos on social media. You know, if you extend a bit the definition of an influencer, a brand can be an influencer. An artisan can be an influencer. And if you think in terms of travel, who is influencing you to pick a destination? As far as I'm concerned, Soho House is an influencer.
Mm.
Moment Soho House opens an hotel in Istanbul or Mumbai, I'm like, oh, what's happening? Is the city now more into media and art? When The Edition hotel chain has opened in Reykjavik in Iceland, suddenly the city became more attractive to me because I felt like I'm influenced by that brand.
Quite. Yeah.
But if you go back to travel, brands like Michelin Guides, like Assouline books, like Louis Vuitton city guides, those products are influencers in a way. So if Assouline, the publishing house, publishes a book about Abu Dhabi, it will get my eyes in the city, because on my shelves at home, I have the books about Tulum, I have the books about south of France. As an example, we've made a collab with Assouline, and we got very lucky to bring the creative team of Assouline Publishing Books to come and visit the city. But another example is Red Bull.
Mm.
Abu Dhabi has this amazing surf camp. So for those who like surf, they have some facility that creates waves. Alors, I'm not into technical, but to make it simple, it's like a gigantic fake wave. Actually, it's better than any real waves. And for those who like surfing, you can practice and practice and practice all day long. And the waves are just perfect. We got Red Bull to come and put that destination on a map by sending someone from the sky to land on the wave. And who better than Red Bull to tap into that sport community? So that's just a few examples of activating brands as an alternative to activating influencers.
Wow. I mean, it's phenomenal. I just love this case study. It's so great about what you're doing together and the team. It's fantastic. The fact that you've been working with them for 5 years, I think it's great testament to the success. How do you measure as a team the success? What are the sorts of parameters that you look at?
You know, we work for a governmental entity. The work is done in a pretty serious manner. As such, I am not allowed to evaluate myself. Otherwise, I would be biased. So the work we do is at such a magnitude that our client is hiring an external consultant. I'm not able to tell the name, but think of a top 5 AAA consultant to evaluate how our work, as well as media, TV, etc., has a direct influence on inbound visitors. So to make it simple, think of 10,000 visitors arriving at the airport who've been asked the question, how did you heard about Abu Dhabi? What got you to book a trip?
Right.
Very proud that online creators, influencers, etc., has a tremendous positive influence on driving that purchase and intention to visit.
Fantastic. Great. Super. Well,
Gordon, just to add a bit, the client is not one team. The client are a collection of hotels, collections of restaurants, beach clubs, etc. So the reality is the end client, which is the city of Abu Dhabi, is of course gathering feedback from all these hotels and beach clubs, all these stakeholders. When guests check in at, let's say, the Mandarin Oriental, and they tell the front desk that they have seen the Mandarin Oriental on a piece of content from Yu Fei, a celebrity in China, that attribution of influence is being shared across the board.
wow. Wow. I know it's great. Super. I could talk to you for ages about this. It's really, really good what you've done, and I think it's a great testament to working collectively, really understanding a brief, and being very goal led rather than so many other campaigns. Just to finish with, Olivier, I'd love to get a sense of what you think is going to be a couple of trends that are going to impact the influencer marketing industry in the next 12 months. So if we were sat here in a year's time, what do you think are going to shape the way influencer marketing is perceived?
Look, our discipline has become very serious. We are not anymore doing work that is so small that it sits under the carpet. So I think that for influencer marketing specialists, they really have to understand the long-term goals of their clients. The work is not short-term to drive virality that comes in and out. It's about understanding how you can, in the long term, change perception. So what we've been lucky to do with our client is look at a 10 years roadmap. And I invite my colleagues, my competitors, the entire industry, when they sit with a client and the client is talking about a 2 weeks activation, to be like, no, what we do is not for 2 weeks, it's for 2 decades. How can we change perception, shape opinions in a way that lasts for a longer period of time? At the moment you do it, you unlock new potentials for the brands and for the creators.
Yeah, fantastic. What a lovely way to end. And thanks so much for contributing today. This is going to be great. Do send me any of those content pieces and videos. I think that will be great. But thank you, Olivier.
I will send you